The ladies' turning point. All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Thanks to the wet ground, the impact of the fall was not as bad as I had expected. Or perhaps my senses were numbed. I tried to get up and put all my strength into my limbs, but was unsuccessful. With a fever burning my head, I was worried about what the minister would think if he saw this scene. He said you should just die, so in case you're wondering. The sound of rain intensifies. I wonder if I'm going to die here, in front of someone's house without anyone noticing. Despite being exhausted, I'm worried about things that don't matter. I couldn't think clearly anymore. At that moment, I thought I heard footsteps approaching. I wonder if it's the minister. I tried to stand with the joy from that thought, but that still didn't work. My feelings were panicked, but my hands and feet seemed to no longer belong to me. My limbs are useless and I can only crawl like an insect. I felt like crying and could only mutter minister.
Hey, are you okay?
It wasn't the voice I'd been hoping for, but realizing it was CEF caused the tears to come spilling out. In a way, it's probably a good thing it's raining now. I could have avoided him seeing my pathetic tears. You... God... I had tried to say, I'm okay, thank you for your concern with my trembling throat. However, the sounds I heard with my ears weren't even words and were so clunky that I wanted to cry more. In my flickering consciousness, I felt a long arm waking me up. My soaking wet cheeks are warmed by his chest, and I feel vaguely sorry that I have soiled him. It's warm. I feel a little better now that the rain hitting me is blocked. I smiled wistfully, feeling protected rather than embraced. I feel like I can say something now and move my lips, which have become completely numb. See, after all. You can't throw it away. Be it letters or people. Damn, she got him. I'm sorry for making you feel terrible.
Yeah, I do feel awful. Awful that I didn't do anything until you ended up like this. I want to kill my own weakness.
CEF? I noticed that CEF's tone of voice was harder than usual. His voice sounded pained and determined. A step back, a distance where you could run at any moment. There was no such vague sense of distance. Was there something there? I couldn't speak properly anymore, even though it bothered me. I felt like I was sinking into mud and repeated shallow breathing.
I didn't want to exert myself for anything anymore.
After being hugged tightly once, both arms are taken. As I did as I was made to do, my body left the cold ground. Maybe he's going to carry me on his back?
Just wait. I'll take you to the castle now.
Perhaps he was being careful to not drop me. I felt little shaking on his back, which made me feel that he was taking care.
Whoa.
I hear a voice that sounds like a combination of surprise and lamentation mingled with the sound of rain. CEF, apparently standing up, let out a small breath and mumbled something in a whisper.
You're pretty light.
I don't think I'm so light, so I don't know why he's surprised. I wanted to ask, but instead I leaned forward. I rubbed my cheek against this shoulder and felt a vibration that felt like his chuckling.
How have you packed so much guts into this delicate body?
Nice.
Huh? You already asleep?
I'm not sleeping. But I can't answer, so it's the same. Leaning back against the comfortable swaying, I listened to the footsteps treading on the puddles and CEF's breathing. These sounds were abruptly cut off. CEF's back stiffened as if he had been strained by something. A little later, I heard a voice that sounded like a reality check. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Political assistant. An assistant to the king in government affairs. In politics, they have the second most influence after the king. Pretty high up. As the king appoints the political advisor directly, they are often the king's right-hand man. Other ministers are primarily determined through lineage. The current political advisor is Noel. I love that we're getting this now and not on Noel's route when he was the actual political assistant. Alright, well, let's crack our knuckles, get ready.
Mr. Political Assistant.
Well, it's a little eerie. I'm not gonna lie, Noel's not looking his happiest today. I guess he was on his way and he found her under normal circumstances, but here we are.
Oh. Well, isn't it the son of Minister Orta?
Noel? I knew immediately that it was Noel's voice, but I doubted my ears. There's something about the music and the CG that gives me the letter vibes. I don't know if any of y'all are getting that, but like, I'm getting like strong letter vibes right now. I'm just like, ooh. Was there any reason for Noel to be out in the rain like this?
Oh, good. I was just bringing her back to your place. You've bothered to bring her all this way? Yeah. Your wife has been waiting outside wanting to meet my old man. But she got caught in this rain and seems to have a fever now. Well, well. It seems she's caused you a bit of trouble. I'm glad to run into you here. If you were the type of slimeball to have just left her, I might have punched you once. Just kidding, of course. Even if I were a slimeball, I would not lose to someone of your skill level. Is there a problem? Please take her home. Understood. Okay, let's go home. Wake up.
I can hear Noel's voice in my ears. He's probably approaching. I gotta wake up. I try to move my body somehow, but it doesn't work as I wanted it to. As I struggled like a dying deer, I felt Seth's arm tighten.
Yes. She's your wife, right? In addition to her daily fatigue, she's been out in the rain and passed out. You could help her out a little. This is a problem between us as a husband and wife. It has nothing to do with you. What? Wake up, Naala. How long do you intend to lean on another man's back?
As I moved, I felt the spine on my cheek move significantly. Next, a voice that seemed to come from the pit of his stomach shook the damp air.
Wait.
Noel's rude words must have made him angry. The quality and tone of his voice changed, as if the anger he had been suppressing erupted.
What is it?
Noel's voice, which had been heard nearby, had moved away, and I could understand that Seth had stepped aside.
What do you mean, wake up? I don't mind carrying her to the castle like this. Well, that's quite unexpected. I had thought you to be quite apathetic, and preferring to take things easy rather than get involved in intricate affairs. Well, you're not wrong there. Incidentally, I overheard a rumor that the cause of Minister Orta's headaches is his son who doesn't work. The political assistant goes so far as to stick his neck into a minister's family affairs. That's quite the busy job. No wonder you can't worry about your own wife.
Damn! There was no restraint in his words of ridicule. On the other hand, Noel, the target of his ridicule, laughed with a voice that sounded like he wasn't really fazed at all.
Oh, I can only wonder about what you must be feeling. Perhaps you are afraid of the rot which took away your mother?
I knew it! I knew it, I knew it, I knew it, I knew it! And I didn't need to be a political assistant for that one.
And that's why you won't get married, continue to escape from reality, and won't do anything for the country.
Oh, is that why? That's interesting. You know what? That actually makes a lot of sense. Why would you want to love another woman that dies in that same horrible fashion? That makes a lot of sense to me.
You trying to piss me off. If you want, even a pacifist like me could smack that pretty face of yours with a good punch. That would be quite impossible for you. We wouldn't know until we tried, would we? Did you know that there are things in the world that cannot be helped by feelings alone? For example, a curse from the spirits. However, the rot is a disease, and as long as it's not the work of the spirits, there is room to make effort. Which is why I would like to have your father on our side. Well then, I'll do what I can to persuade my old man. In return, give me her. If the rot can be cured, then I'll be willing to settle down.
Did you really negotiate that you'll work on your dad if you can have Naala? Damn. That guy's got some cojones.
My wife? Yup.
Noel's voice, which until then had been cutting back instantly, faltered. Oh, child. Yeah, he got quiet. Oh, this hurts my heart. As a Noel lover, this really hurts my heart. I'm just like, oh, but he loves her, though. Like, oh, no, this really breaks my heart.
What's wrong? You got quiet all of a sudden.
CEF, who had been pushed around by Noel, saw an opportunity and continued on with his eloquence.
Maybe you can't. Mr. Political Assistant, who claimed to have no interest in carnal pleasures, fell for this woman hard enough to make her your wife. If that's the case, take better care of her. Put her on your back and go. Understood. You may have her. May have... Huh? Please wake my wife up. What are you talking about? I shall grant you a divorce. You want that, do you not? You may have it. I
listened to their conversation with a fuzzy head. What? I must be dreaming. Only in a dream would Noel grant me a divorce so easily. My high fever must have given me a weird dream. Fully convinced of that, I smile wryly.
Surely you did not ask to have another man's wife in jest, did you? Not at all. I just didn't think you'd agree so easily. And her feelings. I did not realize that the women in this country were afforded such freedoms. That is... Please hurry and wake her.
CEF's voice breaks. He puts me down gently, and I hear him calling to me close to my face. This all feels pretty real for a dream.
Wake up, Naala.
Yeah. CEF?
You awake?
I was in front of the minister's mansion. Oh, right. Sorry to cause you trouble.
It's fine. More than that, your husband needs to talk to you.
Huh? Noel. Was this the continuation of my dream? That's what I thought, at least. Raindrops trickle down my back, sending chills down my spine.
How long do you intend to stay on his back?
Right. I respond, still doubting whether the conversation we just had is real or a dream. My newly awakened body was terribly heavy and difficult to move. I can't show this pitiful figure in front of Noel. Rather, I don't want to. I managed to get my feet onto the ground.
Are you okay?
I smile awkwardly at Seth, who looks at me with concern. Then I thought I saw Noel out of the corner of my eye, scrutinizing me with a dangerous gaze, and my labored breathing became even more labored. Noel? I have no idea what's going through Noel's head now. Jealousy, betrayal, a broken heart. Any of those? Staring with hazy eyes, I heard a small murmur saying, "Do you want to leave it for now?"
Listen carefully to what I am going to say, for I will not repeat myself.
Yeah.
I will grant you a divorce.
In a simple tone, Noel made a unilateral declaration. What?
Are you hard of hearing?
Does this mean, since I couldn't convince the minister, that you're done with me? Noel.
No.
Then why? This isn't what we agreed to!
The minister's son there is saying he will take responsibility.
Seth. But what about convincing the minister?
If you wish, you may continue your activities. But from now on, that will be Lord Seth's responsibility. He seems to have developed feelings for you, so much so that he appeared to me to make you his wife.
I mean, that's not exactly what went down. Seth stiffened at Noel's words. Is that true, Seth?
Well, I did say that. But I didn't think all this was gonna happen. I have conveyed the necessary conditions.
Wait! We haven't finished! I let out a loud voice and choked as I remembered. Seth quickly patted me on the back, but the choking did not go away. Noel turned his back to me and spoke, not at all concerned about me coughing up a storm.
There is no need to talk any further.
But
a wife does not have the right to comment on a divorce. That is the law of our country right now.
that's...
I shall be looking forward to observing what you do from now.
How could I possibly believe that this would be our last conversation as a couple? My husband, cold from beginning to end, faded away into the night, never looking back even once. Damn, I feel completely broken inside by that. I'm not gonna lie. That was sad. I think that might be one of the sadder scenes in this game. Even after Noel had disappeared, I continued to stare down the street, frozen. Even if I'm told divorce, I have no idea what to do from here. I do rather this than, like, him having to die for this relationship to happen. I think it's better. Not necessarily better, but I appreciate that not every branching route is a result of the main guy having to die in order for the branch to happen. So I like some variety. I appreciate that. I knew Noel was arrogant, but this is excruciating.
No.
I don't even know what to do from this. What do I even say? Like this? Like, that's basically like, I never loved him. This is saying, like, there might have been some feelings there. I mean, we're not getting back together with Noel. At the same time, Steph appreciates honesty. Am I projecting my feelings onto Naala? I don't know. I'm gonna go with this one. It just feels better for me. Okay. Seth liked that. Honesty, better feelings. He really is selfish. Why do I feel like I've been left behind, with a feeling of nausea in my chest? Hey, am I really no longer Noel's wife?
As the political assistant said, if the husband declares divorce, then that's all it takes.
I see. Ultimately, I was just a captured woman, and I didn't have any rights of my own. I thought I knew what I was doing. However, I must have somehow become numb to the fact that a contract had been signed, and I had obtained temporary rights for the first time. I thought I knew. I could use those exact words now. I'm actually quite bewildered and couldn't move from the spot. My vision was blurry, and I remembered my fever as if I'd just developed it. When I wobbled, Seth quickly supported me.
Naala!
What? Just standing up is difficult. When I responded in a feverish voice, Seth scratched his head as if reluctant to say anything.
Anyway, let's go somewhere where we can calm down.
The inn again?
My house.
You have your own house? A small shock at the words that were mumbled. For a brief moment, I blinked, forgetting the weight of my eyelids. Is that okay?
Yeah.
The permission was quiet, yet it sounded like a declaration. It was as if he was saying this to himself. So I couldn't keep asking anymore. My head, unable to move fast enough, silently accepted the arms that lifted me up, without the strength to rebel against their strength. Okay, no, like, inside the Orta mansion or whatever. Okay. I was like, maybe he's had his own house this entire time to be away from his dad, but I guess we're moving in with the in-laws. Yay.
Lord Seth?
Sinking into a half-sleep, I can hear the confused voice of the gatekeeper. It's a natural reaction, since one of inhabitants of the mansion was trying to pass through with the enemy in their arms. When I lifted my heavy eyelids, I saw Seth's strong-willed eyes looking straight at the gatekeeper. I suddenly had a sense of déjà vu and realized who it belonged to. They are father and son after all. Dang. Seth may deny it, but his strong-willed eyes seemed to resemble that of Minister Orta.
Let me through.
What?
Let me through. She's my guest.
But...
I'll take responsibility.
Understood. I could sense that the gatekeeper had cleared the way. I lifted my head, feeling like I should thank him. I saw the gatekeeper with his head hanging down, smiling silently. Dang! Gatekeeper ships it. I may have been out of it for a little while. Blinking in a daze, I saw a ceiling I didn't recognize.
Thank goodness.
Seth, noticing me waking up, wipes the sweat from my forehead. I was still not fully awake, so I just did as I was told. The next thing I know, the worried look on his face falls away and he smiles softly.
If you hadn't woken up, I might have attacked you.
You're not the kind of person who can do that kind of thing.
I have at least that much courage.
You're too kind for that.
I'm happy you trust me, but as a man I feel complicated. Well then, so about things moving forward.
My sense of reality returns as I look at Seth, who seemed to have difficulty finishing the sentence. I smiled wryly and reassured myself. I can't go back to Noel's, so I guess I have to go back to the residence. I don't know if that's allowed, though.
Yeah, well about that.
When I asked back, Seth kept his mouth shut for a while. He swept his gaze as if to express his hesitation. As I waited, a deep breath escaped from Seth's mouth.
It's no good. I've never been so nervous in my life.
Huh?
Why don't you come back to my place?
Your place?
For the women from Ruth, if a divorce is decided, then they must remarry immediately.
I can't remain single.
Yeah. Divorced women have to choose a partner within a year.
I'd love to choke out whoever made that law.
Ah, yeah, I imagine.
If it's something that's already been decided, then there's no point complaining any further, and this is not the place to get angry.
But, it's the current Nasla king who gave women the right to choose, even for remarriage. So, if you wish, you could choose to remarry the political assistant.
What the? Wait, and he just has to, deal with it, or what? That's kind of wild. So, the woman has no say in the divorce, but she does have a say if she wants to remarry the guy who tried to divorce her? I feel like this law needs to be readdressed. Despite us getting divorced?
Yeah, but only if you want to get married to him again.
He carefully showed me the paths I could choose, one by one, choosing his words carefully. Seth's concern for me was palpable and made things feel even more real. In other words, I really was in a situation where I had to choose. I see. What do I want to do? Dang, can you actually go from here, back to Noel's route if you're like, I made a huge mistake? I mean, I'm obviously not going to do that, but I'm morbidly curious. Anyway, no, I'm with you now, so here we go. I see. Once again, I muttered to confirm what was said. To go back to the man who coldly threw me away without a second thought. Yeah, that's not all that realistic. Even being told that I could go back, I didn't feel like I wanted to do that. Seth moved one hand up and down in front of me as I fell silent. I thought he was extending his arm toward me, then he pulled it back, then extended it again. He finally grasped my palm without touching me in the end. When I looked at him in wonder at his restless behavior, Seth swept his gaze with an increasingly impatient look. While doing so, his eyes, glancing at me from time to time, were terribly serious and...
Well, I think I'm responsible for what happened. Which means that, I did say what I said. But I wasn't being serious, I'm not comfortable with this kind of thing. It's like taking advantage of a vulnerable moment.
This guy, he's so sweet. Oh my goodness. He's just the sweetest. After a long preamble, Seth looked at me with a sense of determination. Straight on, with an intensity akin to prayer. He did it! Well done.
Would you like to choose me as your remarriage partner?
I could see the words, "I said it," written on Seth's cheeks. Still, his unwavering gaze appealed to me that he meant what he said.
That's a no, right?
He asked softly and in somewhat of a formal tone.
I just thought that I wanted to marry you.
To say no. This is all so sudden. I'm still processing things.
If you come to my place, you can meet my old man. But that's kind of sneaky, huh? Maybe. Maybe that's what the political assistant was getting at when he said he was divorcing you. Kinda a poor way to phrase it, but I think he wanted to send you in as a pawn. That's why I proposed this without thinking about it. It's my responsibility.
As I was wondering why he was going over the details now, I realized it. Seth didn't think I was awake, so he's explaining it to me now. He could have misrepresented things to suit his own convenience and tossed me out. Instead of doing that, though, Seth is telling me the truth.
And I just thought, if it's you, then I wouldn't mind settling down. And so I just said it. Sorry.
Why are you apologizing?
I mean, I'm not that good looking, and I'm a good decade plus older than you.
I mean, I wouldn't say you're not good looking.
I'm also a terrible adult taking advantage of a girl, I think. But even still.
A pause is placed, as if the words are being chewed and digested once spoken. The next time his mouth was opened, there was no more hesitation in Seth's eyes.
Still, I want to help you. But if you say you want to go back, well, that can't be helped. But as far as I'm concerned, I wouldn't want to send you back to someone who treats you like that. If I could.
A bit of anger seeps into the "like that" part, and the glint in his eye sharpens. But in the next moment, Seth said with a faint wry smile,
I'm sorry I don't have much to offer, but I think I can take good care of a girl. So, that's why... Please marry me.
The second time he asked me to marry him, his words were direct. Apparently, Seth has a disposition that, once he takes the plunge, he has no hesitation. It's quite attractive. Also, girl's dying of pneumonia over here. But she's fine, she'll figure it out.
Or would you rather be with the political assistant? Did you love him?
I never had those feelings. I didn't marry Noel out of love. It was an agreement, not romance. That's why... I think for Noel this was a very natural response for him.
Natural?
Noel gave me a condition. If I could convince Minister Orta, he'd grant my wish of returning everyone home. In that case, having me go inside your circle would be advantageous for him, right? So perhaps Noel declared divorce for the reasons that Seth said. So, you don't have to worry about it. If it goes well, it may be advantageous to keep it in mind. However, I couldn't help not wanting to use the good intentions offered. Maybe this will leave me with nowhere to go.
You're pretty awkward. It's dangerous, and I can't stand seeing you like this.
Huh? The response was different from what I had expected, which caused me to sound distracted. He pats me on the head as I lower my gaze.
I see. I did think it was strange that political assistant got married. You gotta make my old man into an ally for everyone's sake.
Yeah.
I had been wondering if you and your husband were at least cooperating with each other. If this is the case, you should have said so sooner. Hey. Yeah, you should come back to my place.
But...
No buts. Rather, doing so would help me out. It's kinda tough. Watching you fight so hard by yourself.
Seth.
Well, I surprised myself worrying about this. Efforts, being desperate. I've avoided such things.
Is it really okay? Would the minister be okay with you taking my side?
Maybe, but I'd rather leave my old man alone than you. If we can cure the rot, Wouldn't that be good for everyone? Actually, I have some thoughts about the rot.
CEF?
When King Toya says it's an illness, what's that mean?
Yeah, the rot is an illness. We must find a cure in order to eliminate it. The Minister's cooperation is absolutely necessary to conduct research for that purpose, and to enact a law to return the women home.
Then perhaps my proposal was attractive. For you.
But that is...
You said it at the beginning. You're going to use me. That's fine by me. If you find someone you fall in love with, we can separate. I won't be happy about it, but I will face you properly.
My goodness. He's willing to, negotiate whatever kind of marriage deal he can work out. Am I going to turn into Noel now? Now I'm the one using him? Sheesh. I smiled wryly at his persistent third request. I may be stubborn, but Seth is too.
You may be hesitant to use me, but I told you I have my own thoughts on the rod. So this isn't just for you.
Even so, you have a strong sense of responsibility.
Let's leave it at that. A strong sense of responsibility is better than some old dude in love.
I'm not sure how serious the wording is. But if it's Seth, it's not if I can trust him or not. I want to trust him. Prompted by his gentle look, I extended my hand. If Seth says it's not just his responsibility, may I ask upon you?
No need to ask.
So I entered into my second contract marriage. Yay! And now pass out and get better soon, girl.